Alright, welcome to Just Magic the Gathering. I was looking at running a little bit of my daily grind with, in this case, my lifelink deck. I did give 2 quick tries with my Mobilize deck, and one was close, but they both ended up losing. It just doesn't necessarily have enough control. I was wondering if they weren't... I was looking at actually introducing a different deck, the Mardu Mobilize. And... I don't know. Just looking more just to get my win out of the way and probably call it good. Because I like the looks of that. I need one more black, but... I was wondering, I could have fell him, but I'm glad I didn't, because that's a better use of my fell. I probably should have left my one untapped. Destroy target with flying. Green's good about being anti-flying. And I only got 2 bonds out of the deal. So he's going for basic land. Well, that's nice. I only got 2 bonds and I already pulled one of them. I already pulled both of them. That's unfortunate for him. Yeah, I'll take my Enduring Tenacity. And that's going to get it to me in my hand right now. And this is almost game. Unless he can just deal with both those bonds, or depending on what he has. At least even if he drops something like the Orboid, I'm not concerned. He has a grip of mana, though. Looks like a Hydra. I was just questioning the legitimacy of... Because I could play Vincent, which I think would be a better option. It gets me 2 cards. Where if I played my Enduring Tenacity, it doesn't. And that's actually game, because if the 4 damage is going to go back to him. So, the bonds are ruthless. And that was just crazy luck to get both of them out. It's like I got 2 bonds, and they were both almost on the top of my deck. So yeah, what I was saying about potentially introducing the Mardu Mobilize, since I was after the Alchemy, or the Standard games, I was looking at building out a better, like, Mobilize deck. And I just kind of Googled the question, like, what are other people running in their Mobilize decks? The Windcrag Siege, I pulled really heavily into Tekir, so I have basically all of these cards. And like Zergo, the Bone Carrion, some of these are really nice for Mobilize. Attacking tokens you control have Death Touch. All my stuff gets Death Touch. Mobilize, during your end step, warrior tokens you control can't have this token can't be sacrificed. So everything that mobilizes in doesn't go away at the end. The Windcrag Siege is an enchantment that I choose when I put it in, whether my triggers double trigger or I get a 1/1 goblin out of the deal. at a certain point, this had won me a draft. I did fairly well drafting into both Aether Drift and Takir. I'm quite disappointed with how I drafted into Avatar so far. I'm actually quite disappointed in that. Alicia, who laughs at fate, allows me to pull from my graveyard. That whenever she attacks, I put a +1/+1 counter on it, and at the end of my end step, if I attack this turn, return target creature card with mana value less than or equal to her power. So even if I can't push with her, if I have something else that I push with and sacrifice and it dies, I can just basically bring it right back out. So it was interesting when I went through, a lot of people were running Sephiroth as well for their mobilized decks. And at a certain point, I was looking at building out a token sacrifice Sephiroth deck, and I pulled into one and I exchanged for a second token quite a while ago. So I've never actually played Sephiroth, but I threw both of those in here. My Enduring Innocences, the Nowhere to Runs. Most people weren't really running in their mobilized deck, but I like the anti-ward and the hexproof, and yeah, I have the Voice of Victories. The Sheltered by Ghosts is another one. I have a full set of these, and I'm not really normally a fan of them because it's not like permanent control. If I take something, they can destroy my enchantment and get it back. And a lot of people were running the Stadium Headliner. Once again, I don't necessarily like it because it's a sacrifice. For 2, I can sacrifice it and have it deal damage as like a direct damage card. And then with something like Alicia, she can just easily pull it back out at the end of the turn. So I don't know. I like the overall theme. Most people were running definitely significantly more expensive lands than I had or have. One of the things that Ishgard, it not only can come in as the land, but for late game, I can return 2 enchantment and or artifacts from my graveyard to my hand. So if they were to like destroy one of my War Leader's Calls or my Sieges, or even like my Nowhere to Run if I wanted to... It's not like people really destroy those, though. Either way, and Midgar, that you may sacrifice an artifact or creature if you do draw 2 cards. That this works with my Mobilize before they self-sacrifice. I can sacrifice them. So, yeah, I'm curious to see how it goes. But ultimately, I don't think it's going to hold up well, or it's more of a rush, and part of it's also, I don't know what I'm doing in Standard, or I'm less familiar with basically all the cards. I guess I kind of like it. I mean, see how it goes. Because I have almost double control. I have my Voice of Victory, I have the Alicia, and my Windcrag Siege. I just need like 1 more mana to get into my last 2. But I can do almost my entire hand. And being able to get the Sheltered by a Ghost off early can be pretty big in that, because it does have that ward too, so unless they have something like Nowhere to Run that'll get around it. Still just kind of waiting on my opponent and trying to kill some dead air. So, I don't know. Either way, after this game, I'm probably going to call it. Since I did the 2 rounds with my other Mobilize deck to start with. The one advantage that it does have is that it wins fast or it loses fast. I like round 3 on one of them. It's like, yeah, I'm pretty sure this is... Oh, he's going to time out on me? Hopefully not. Going back to that makes me almost just want to cut this out and do a different match. We're going back to this is one of the things about Arena that I don't necessarily want to try and sweep under the rug either. Okay, I'm going to keep 7. I'm pretty sure he just timed out and I have to wait for him to time out again. At which point it'll automatically pass to my turn. I have to play a land, and then I'll go back to him, and I have to wait for him to time out again. At this point, at least gives him an opportunity to come back, or things like this actually make me think more connection issues as opposed to them just kind of dipping at the end. But yeah, it's going to be like 45 seconds. I'm not really sure how I feel about that for the win. Either way. Certain point, just moving on. Give it one more try. See if I have better luck, or... Caleb, 5263. I'm not a huge fan, because unless I draw a mana, I can't really do anything. But he's playing just straight green, it looks like. Azula. I was very much looking forward to the Avatar set, or... Yeah. I'm a fan of Avatar. I fell in love with the original cartoon. Which is... Yeah. Make them so that they stick around? Or play my Siege for the double trigger? Or Sephiroth for card draw? Choices, choices. Since I have 2 Zergos, I'm going to start with Zergo. Let's just see how this goes. Because they don't go away. This gets wide fast. And especially, like, I can get my Siege out next time. So I will be very much extra mobilizing. I'm assuming I have to play Control. I don't have to play Control. Well... Yeah, I don't have to play Control. Because if I do something like my Siege, I think this is almost already over. Because that just went really route wide, really fast, and they're not going to go away. And yeah. I now have a bunch of tokens. And he can only push 4, I mean, yeah. Unless he has a white ball card. I'm just gonna almost be like, good game. Because yeah, that's the writing on the wall. Going back to the Mobilize deck tends to like hit hard and fast or lose fast. So, either way. I'm glad to get some use out of the Tekirs. I'm slowly grinding packs. I have 2 packs now. And 2,000 coins. Yeah, with that, I'm gonna call it and look forward to playing some Magic in the future.